PRC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday afternoon, the 14th day of November. James Spann here, and we are excited because tomorrow, Storm Alert Extreme at the BJCC. If you like to watch these Weather Xtreme videos, then you need to be there. I mean, we're going to do some serious weather stuff. This is for real weather geeks here. This is the annual Skywatcher training event we do. We'll start at 9:30, and we run through mid-afternoon, and there's no admission charge. You don't need to register. Just show up. Look for the signs downtown at the BJCC, and remember, if you come to Storm Alert Extreme, you get free admission into the Alabama International Auto Show. How about that for a deal? And again, we get many, many questions about this throughout the year. Well, this is the day, and it's tomorrow, so we hope to see you downtown Birmingham. We'll check the Skycam network this afternoon. These are at mid-afternoon, and you can see a cloudy sky over Demopolis. That's the view from the Demopolis Civic Center. But so far, very little rain. You know what you heard me say for days, I had great concern. It's not going to rain that much around here with this system, and I think that's going to wind up being correct. There's our Gadsden Skycam, still some low clouds and fog over on the eastern side of the state. But look down there at Gulf Shores. The sun is shining. What a beautiful day. It's kind of muggy down there. The dew point's up to 71. And that air is feeding up into southeast Alabama and Georgia. That's where the better chance of strong storms will be for the next few hours. There's the water vapor satellite imagery. And again, we've got really two systems. You've got the southern branch disturbance that's over the Louisiana coast, and that will be enhancing showers and storms more than likely across parts of South Alabama into Georgia in coming hours. And then the northern branch trough developing, and that's going to deliver the cold air for the weekend. But today, pretty mild out there. Temperatures are in the 70s. In fact, we got some low 80s down there in South Alabama. 60s for the northern half of the state, but again, notice the 20s nosing down into the Dakotas and Minnesota, and even some temperatures below zero at 2 o'clock this afternoon up in northern Manitoba. And that's the air coming down the pike. It's going to be a cold and blustery day tomorrow. In advance of the surface boundary, again, there's just not much happening here. Most of north and central Alabama dry. The exception, the areas around Auburn and Opelika and Lafayette and Phoenix City down in East Alabama, Chambers, Lee, Randolph counties, Macon County, and that batch of showers is about to move over into Georgia. And we note the Weather Service in Atlanta beginning to issue severe thunderstorm warnings now, and we've got a risk of severe weather for southeast Alabama. That's south of a line from near Lafayette to Montgomery and Atmore. The Florida Panhandle, a pretty good chunk of central and south Georgia, pretty good bit of North Carolina, in the coastal plain, or a good bit of South Carolina, and the coastal plain of North Carolina. And again, it looks like those guys at SPC might be putting up a severe thunderstorm watch out there in the next hour or two for a pretty good chunk of Georgia. There's the expected rain around the country for the next 5 days, valid through Wednesday morning at 7 or 6 a.m., and the heaviest rain off to the east. And again, from Georgia all the way up to Maine, some spots getting over 2.5 inches along through there. But again, I just don't think we get that much. I know that thing is still showing 1 inch for the Tennessee Valley, but I say it's under a half inch. I hope I'm wrong. We need the rain. But even with our cold front coming in late tonight, I don't think it'll rain all that much. And back to the severe weather look, there's a look at the instability values across the southeast at mid-afternoon. And notice we've got some surface-based CAPE values over 2,500 down there near Geneva, down in southeast Alabama on the Florida border. And you can clearly see that the most unstable air, the surface-based instability, is below Montgomery and below Atlanta. And that's the area to watch. Let's look at the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid at noon tomorrow. Big, deep, cold trough over the east. And you bet that is going to deliver some cold air. Again, no change in our thinking. I think clouds will hang in much of the day. It's going to be windy. Temperatures will probably drop from the mid-50s at daybreak into the upper 40s and stay there all day. And the thickness values are low, and who knows, maybe some snow flurries up in Tennessee. I think the low-level thickness values are too warm for snow flurries down here, but some light rain possible tomorrow morning. Maybe some drizzle in spots as the cold air blows in. No doubt it's going to be a very blustery day. And Sunday, not as windy and the sun comes out, so it's going to feel better, but still cool. We'll see a high only in the low 50s. Monday of next week, we've still got cold air feeding down in here. Note that new 1,038 millibar high nosing down into North Dakota. So kind of a reinforcing shot of cool air next week, and that'll keep us in the 50s, I think. There's Tuesday, really nice cold air advection. That suggests the high on Tuesday only around 50. And then Wednesday of next week, the surface high is right over us, and that could get us down there in the 20s with a clear, calm morning. But really, every morning next week, it looks like we'll be pretty close to freezing. We'll go out there Thursday of next week, and again, for a number of days, the GFS suggested a cold trough developing at this point, but it's been gone for several days, so we'll just kind of take that off the table. The flow is a northwest flow, but it's relatively zonal. Friday, a week from today, a vortex is north of here, and down below that, just don't think we'll see any rain with that. And then Saturday, the 22nd, same deal. It's cool and dry. That would suggest highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s. Sunday, the 23rd, same deal. We'll go to Monday, November 24th. A little disturbance comes through, but the air relatively mild. The big idea of a cold trough at some point in the air is totally gone from the 20th through the 25th. So this run takes it off the board. I wouldn't be shocked if it shows back up because it is so cold out there. And the end of the forecast on the 30th of November. Goodness gracious, look at the cold air pattern setting up there. That's an interesting feature out west. You can see a 1,052 millibar high just north of Montana. That'll flood the west with very cold air, including Seattle and even almost San Francisco, if that's right, while we stay relatively mild. But again, the model is struggling. Whether a week in advance, you can pretty much forget details out there. Just always interesting to peek, and that's all we're doing. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by, tomorrow, Brian Peters will. Well, let me see here. Let me take that back. Brian is at Storm Alert Extreme, so we probably will not have a Weather Xtreme video tomorrow. If he does one, it's going to be really early. He will have one Sunday, and my next Weather Xtreme video will be Monday morning at 7. And, of course, we'll have the blog with fresh updates over the weekend. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow at Storm Alert Extreme. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.